Welcome to Kansas State. My favorite part of going to any section meeting is visiting other people's glass blowing shops. Not always the demos, but seeing how they do things, what special tools they have that might make my job easier, or what techniques they use that would make a job faster for me. So I want to share some things with you that I'd have to say none of them are original with me. I probably got the idea for some of these things from some of you, so I hope there'll be something that's useful for you today. So at any rate, we're glad you're here. Welcome to the back wall of the glass shop. This back wall here, for one end, is my wet working area. There is no separate wet working room here, but there are some features that I really enjoy about it. One thing that you'll see that you probably won't see in a lot of glass labs is a base bath. Base bath is really nice for cleaning up glassware that people don't bring in quite clean enough for repair, or sometimes you're salvaging glassware and you're the one that has to clean it yourself, so base bath is a good way to do that. If you have a copy of Gary Coyne's Laboratory Companion book, it has a good recipe for a base bath, usually involving isopropanol and either potassium or sodium. I like to use Micro 90, I think, is a pretty nice cleaner. It'll get a lot of things clean. Some of the things like Alkanox or Fisher brand powdered cleaner won't. Also, an assortment of different sizes of brushes, bottle brushes, things to get into round bottom flasks that have flexible heads. Like I said, in an ideal world, everyone would bring their glass repair to you perfectly clean, but if you want to protect yourself, a lot of times it's up to you to take care of the cleaning. The sander is a Wilt wet belt sander with a diamond belt, and it has lock-line flex tubing for water to keep your glass cool when you're grinding on it. Overhead I have an assortment of plastic beakers, different kinds of grinding and polishing grit, graduated cylinders. Probably 95% of the glass cutting that I can do, I do on this old Felker wet saw. It has a push-in table here that slides back and forth into the diamond blade. The water cooling are just these two flexible tubes that come in on the sides to direct the water towards the front of the diamond blade. And then just these two heavy aluminum blocks. It's a very nice, very versatile thing because you're able to hang things off the edge. If you've got side arms, almost always you're able to find a way to cut something efficiently. What it's not quite so good for is multiple cuts at specific lengths. It's almost always possible to figure out a way to get exactly what you want to do with this saw, even if it's not an efficient production machine. But in a research glass blowing shop at a university, or say a pharmaceutical company or someplace where they're making chemicals, a lot of times versatility is the more important of your choices. Here's kind of a nice little fixture I made for this saw. It's for cutting short boats, and it's just a piece of angle welded onto a piece of plate at 90 degrees with a slot cut down the center of the V. So I can slide these blocks and get the center of the V so it lines up with the blade. And then it's a relatively easy thing to set a boat in here. A lot of times I'll tape it on with some scotch tape just to hold it in place so the halves don't split apart while you're cutting it. And then it's a simple thing to cut. A 4-inch boat is relatively simple. At one time I actually had to cut some very small pieces of tubing in half, so here's a hole with another slot cut in. You can see the slot doesn't go down the middle, but that accounts for the width of the blade. So the slot off to one side lets you cut maybe a 10 millimeter piece of tubing. You can cut the top off so you're left with a nice half. To my left here is a Dynacut saw with a 14-inch diamond blade. It's great for very repeatable cuts. It's a super smooth saw if you've ever used one. You probably appreciate it as much as I do, but it's a versatile saw too. But it's a little easier for me when I need to do just one or two cuts to use the old Felker saw and get things done quickly. But for precision and multiples, it's hard to beat the Dynacut. This is just a simple Delta drill press, but it has the water addition to the chuck, and then it uses these standard diamond core drills. They're a resin bond drill, so it's not just a plated material. It is a core of resin with impregnated diamonds, so they last for a good long time. Just like a diamond wheel, though, they need to be dressed occasionally. The diamond core drills are not inexpensive, and the bigger they get more expensive very, very quickly. But you already know that if you use diamond core drills. The thing that I found best if you don't want any chip out on the backs of your glass when you drill holes is Aramco's Crystal Bond. I've tried lots of things because the Crystal Bond is a little troublesome sometimes, but nothing else really works all that great. Beeswax kind of works until it doesn't. Paraffin kind of works until it doesn't. You still have to get things hot, so Crystal Bond is sure a good way to wax things together to avoid chip out on the back of the holes that you're drilling. Those are some things I hope you found useful. If you saw anything that piqued your interest, please ask any questions you might have. I'd be glad to share with you. I hope you had a good time visiting K-State, and if you're ever in Manhattan, Kansas, I hope you stop by, visit the glass shop. It'd be nice to see some people.